with that being said, can you see my doc that it says the journey to 2000? Yes?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So I know that right now, most of you, you are not, I mean, you want to go to 2000, but maybe that's not in your focus in the next months, in the next 3 to 4 months. But it's important to know the expectations. It's important to know how the journey like works. And I would say that there are 3 phases, okay? From 0 to 1000, from 1000 to 1500, and from 1500 to 2000. Okay, most people are in from 0 to 1000. Okay, most players spend their life here, and it's okay. Most amateurs spend like their time here, and the reason why most people are stuck here is because they make a lot of blunders, but a lot of blunders. Like 99% of their games have like serious blunders, and if you are here, it like don't worry about it. We're gonna solve this, but the most important thing here is to learn how to avoid blunders, right? If you can get this right, I mean, you're going to reach 1000 in no time. It's going to be extremely easy. For that reason, it's important to start to work on your decision-making system, okay? And I would say that the reason why you're stuck here is because you didn't have the right habits and the right skills. But I would say that the habits here are very, very important. For example, you are rushing a lot. You are not taking your time to think properly, okay? And that's why you're making a lot of blunders. Because during the next 8 weeks, I'm gonna teach you a lot of things like the fundamentals, for example. But if you don't have the right habits when it comes to play, you won't let you to use these fundamentals, to use these principles in your games. Like you're going to sabotage yourself. And I would say like auto-sabotage is the main reason why people are stuck here, okay? Well, with that being said, in phase 2, and this is where like a lot of people is stuck there as well, from 1000 to 1500, it's important to like, I mean, if you're here, it's because you're more aware of this. You make mistakes and maybe you make blunders, but not that much, okay? Now, 1000 and 1500, once you are here, apart from not making blunders, what you gotta do is you must like learn new concepts, okay? New middle game concepts, because here it's important to know the middle game. It's important to know how to conduct a small advantage and how to convert that into a bigger advantage, basically. And that's why it's important to know new concepts, okay? We're gonna cover that part as well, but it's important to know this. It's also important to learn how to create a better plan, how to stay creative, how to consider things like you didn't consider before. And I would say that converting winning positions is very, very important. I said this already, but again, it's important because your opponent is going to make a mistake eventually. If you play correctly, following the fundamentals, if you take your time, if you are careful, eventually your opponent is going to make a serious mistake. You will have the upper hand, you will have the advantage, and you want to know how to convert these games. And again, if you're not able to do that, then it means that you have a problem. But more like a problem is more like a clear indicator of like, okay, if I'm not able to convert this, it's because I'm lacking something. So I have to work there. This is going to be the main area. I'm going to put my focus on working on this. All right. Improve your BP skills and habits. BP means bulletproof. And I mean, the bulletproof skills and habits. And that means, again, converting winning positions, habits, for example, how you invest your time. I'm going to discuss that later. It's important to know how to invest your time, how to invest your time during the opening, during the middle game, during the end games, okay? And improve your openings a bit. It's interesting because most people here in this phase, and especially in this phase, they're obsessed with openings, okay? How can I know this? Because everyone's talking about the new opening, the new chessable course, and like I have a lot of conversations. If you're here, it's because somehow we started a conversation on chess.com or on Facebook. And yeah, I have a lot of conversations with people. And they mention like, oh, right now I'm training this opening, I'm training this Sicilian stuff. And like they spend 85%, 80% of their time doing openings. And I don't get why. Because it's important to know, what to do in the first 10 moves, I guess, But again, if you reach a good position in the middle game and you don't know what to do, then what are you gonna do? Like your opening book is not gonna help you to get through the middle game, right? So that's why it's important to know the middle game part. And for that reason, installing new concepts is important. We're gonna cover this. We're gonna cover this in the next 8 weeks. Don't worry. But yeah, it's important. And once you reach 1500 to 2000, I would say this is the toughest part. Not everyone can get over 1500. That's a milestone for sure. You need proper training. You better know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck here forever. If you have some luck, if you're here, you can get here. All right. But if you get here just by luck, it's gonna be extremely hard to get to 2000 just by pure luck. It's gonna be impossible. You need proper training, but also you have to work on your weaknesses. I mean, you have to work on your weaknesses in the 3 phases. But here it's extremely important to know what you're doing incorrectly, because now each case is different, and maybe like you need more training in the end games, or maybe you need more training, I don't know, in the transition from the opening to the middle game. You want to know that stuff, okay? So self-awareness and auto-analysis, it's critical here. Again, it's critical when you're in phase 2 and 1, but here is important, okay? You cannot make it to 2000 if you don't get this right. You want to keep the style better concepts, and this is very important when you are here. And this is something that my students of 1900 have some problems as well. How to handle critical moments versus dry or normal positions. A critical moment by definition is a position or a moment when you can get the advantage and you are fighting for the advantage, okay? And if you do this, if you play this part correctly, you can win your game, or you can have a winning advantage. Or if you like play that incorrectly, you can lose the game in just one move. Or you can create a huge weakness that is gonna last forever, and you're gonna end up losing the game. So it's important to know these moments, and it's important to know how to handle them correctly. But also, it's also important to tell the difference between a critical moment and a normal position that is not critical, because you want to know how to invest your time properly, okay? My approach when it comes to learn openings is not like getting a huge advantage in the middle game. I don't care about it. When I teach openings, my approach is how to get a healthy position, a good position, a playable position full of ideas, okay? Because in the middle game, if you have the right concepts and you have the right skills and habits, you're gonna outplay your opponent, okay? But my point is, you wanna know how to conduct normal positions. Like you wanna know what to do when there's nothing to do, if that makes sense. And it's important. And the reason why it's also important to know how to invest your time is because when you're handling a normal position, you don't need that much. You don't have to, like most people in dry positions, in positions where there are no tactics, they spend like 5 minutes, a lot of time, or 10 minutes, and you don't have to spend that much time, because you want to use that time in critical situations. Okay, if that makes sense. Are you following me so far? If this like is clear? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is important. This is extremely important when you're in phase 3. Well, create better plans. I mean, this is something that you start to do when you're here, but when you're here, you have to keep improving. And how you can do this correctly? Well, by learning some standard plans of the openings you play here, I would say that it's important to know your openings a little bit better. That's why I have courses of how to play the Najdorf, how to play the King's Indian. All right. These are courses that I have recorded for the students, but I wouldn't like give you that stuff yet because you don't need it. But it's important to know the standard plans when you are here. You don't have to memorize a lot of stuff, but you have to, if you can do it, that always helps. But it's more important to know what to do when you're in the middle game. What are these standards plans and why? And well, keep improving your bulletproof skills and habits, okay? Well, this is the journey to 2000. I think like I've picked the most important components. Do anyone have any questions about it? Something that you would like to know about